Hey, and welcome to another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And we're back. It's the week of Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, what are you guys thankful for this year? Anything at all?
Having a new job.
A new job?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm actually going to have money to get decent presents for all of my loved ones at Christmas time, including you guys. Who you guys have already gotten your Christmas presents from me
Thank
because
you.
I don't like to hold on to things. I like to just get rid of them. Otherwise, I will lose them and forget that I bought you stuff.
Well, and I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I've definitely given you your
Yes.
Christmas present.
Yes, and I've gotten the one from Jake as well, which they're both awesome laser discs. And I know, Josh, it's in the mail. Will be in the mail in like a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Josh
everyone
is
I've
looking
given.
at me like he's already forgotten what he got me.
No, I was a bit confused and then realized, he's explaining me giving you your gift.
Yeah, no, I already gave you your gift.
Yes. And I've given everyone who can get their gift. Yeah.
Which is funny because I've also already started working on Josh's birthday present, even though that's not until February.
Yes.
What are you gentlemen thankful for?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for new Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yeah.
A new Rocky movie.
Oh, rave reviews.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have something to say next episode about that.
New James Bond.
That the song was catchy the second time around.
You've seen it twice now?
Yeah. It's the only
Braver than most.
Here's the fucked up thing.
I've seen it 3 times.
The only James.
Shit.
The only
And
James.
you guys didn't really like it.
I like
He liked it.
That's right. You
The only
liked it.
James Bond movie I've seen twice in the theaters is Spectre.
Ooh.
The most disappointed I've ever been seeing a James Bond movie in the theaters.
More so?
Not the most disappointed he's been with the James Bond movie, though.
Well, Sam and I were talking off mic about like how I left the theater during Die Another Day and I was like, yeah, it was cool, it was a James Bond movie. This one I left and I was like, revisionist
That
history.
wasn't James Bond.
Yeah, him surfing in an invisible car, that's James Bond.
Yeah.
Revisionist history will be kind of, I don't. It's not my least favorite Bond movie, but whatever.
Is it still your least favorite Daniel Craig film?
Oh yeah.
Take that, Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
I mean, Quantum of Solace will take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has one.
It'll take it and hold it like it's an Oscar.
Yeah. Now I'm in third place.
Yeah. Yeah. The DVD cover came to me in my dreams. It's just him standing in the desert,
Like
going,
a monolith?
Yeah, going, thank you, bye.
Show us what you've got.
I'm thankful that Jeff Lynne's making music again. From ELO.
Yeah.
Silence.
I liked Xanadu.
Yeah.
I like ELO.
Yeah.
I liked some of the Mr. Blue Sky from
Mr. Blue
28
Sky.
Days Later.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm thankful that we've added Josh. I don't think he's been on for a full year.
He
right?
started around like March, maybe early April.
He wasn't on last Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. I think we ever properly welcome him
No, he
aboard?
just was kind of
Or one
there.
day he was just on.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, and joining us is our buddy Josh, and then
Yeah.
he just kind of stayed on.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I forced myself in and wouldn't let go.
Sheer force
We
of
didn't have
will.
the heart to tell him. We could tell him now, boys. Josh, you're out.
Yeah.
Yes. You've
Happy
actually
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, cut his
you
mic.
actually were only supposed to be on that one episode, and we just didn't have the heart to tell you to leave.
Oh, God damn it. Nut up, man.
We felt
Well, we're doing it now. Our combined nut power is telling you, cut his mic.
we felt so bad that you bought all
Nutella.
that equipment.
Nutella.
Ooh.
Well, that's fine. There's eBay for this shit.
I'm thankful for fans like Zach and Chris. What's his name?
Schwarzlander.
Yes, yeah. He's
Oh, yeah,
been
yeah.
very active on Facebook.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I met him when I was working in the comic shop.
Mm-hmm.
And
You guys were doing that new Comic Wednesday.
New
right?
Comic
He was part
Wednesday.
of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a book that one of these days we can hopefully get him on to talk about.
I've been meaning to try to sneak in a shout out to him.
Yeah, he's a good
just
dude.
because he's been so active,
Yeah.
liking and sharing almost everything that we post.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, and it's really broadened our reach. We already had a surprisingly good reach for a podcast that's so small. I was looking at our numbers. I have a lot of friends cosplayers and stuff like that. They have fan pages, and they're always complaining that they have 3,000 fans, but only ever get 300 views on their posts. And we always get pretty decent numbers for how few likes we have.
Yeah.
And
Which honestly I prefer.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it.
I love more listeners. Yeah. So what if you don't hit the thumbs up on our Facebook page?
Exactly. But since Chris has started sharing our stuff, our numbers have jumped up almost twofold.
Yeah, and I wanted to give him a quick shout. The book that he wrote and did the artwork for everything self-published. It's called Tripping Over Reality. Just really quick, it's about a guy who dies and wakes up in the body of his favorite superhero.
Now,
That's cool.
speaking of shout-outs and speaking of people promoting books,
Yeah.
Clever.
I kind of this week we've got another interview. Actually,
Dude,
we're
we
kind
are
of
racking it up.
We are on a roll.
Yeah.
We get the guy that wrote the novelization for Return of the Jedi, which I saw in the supermarket like earlier
And
this week.
it was the one that was spelled wrong. It was
I was like, oh, sorry, James, but we got and since then his Indiegogo campaign was successfully funded.
Rocked it.
Yeah. So congratulations, James Caan. Congratulations with your Wrong Side Bob. But this week we've got Alex de Campi, who writes No Mercy for Image Comics. She wrote Archie vs. the Predator, which you can get now. And she also wrote Grindhouse, not heavy metal, which I fuck up in the interview. And you'll hear when you keep listening. Sorry again.
Sorry, you got your one mistake in on the interview, just like you said Kickstarter instead of Indiegogo.
Oh yeah, for James. Yeah,
But you have a pretty beautiful save, I must say. So listen for that save.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I guess. But
and it's a great interview.
Thank you. And so the book.
I said 3 things, I think.
Yeah.
I'm the Matt Myra to his
Hardwick?
Hardwick.
You're like the Bill Finger.
I just
don't make me Bob Kane, please.
That's fucked up. Take that back. He's Bill and I'm the finger. How about that?
Yeah.
So you get all the best stuff.
No, but I'm just like, hey, that was fun. I like that part in the book. And then Sam's like, yeah, let me break it down to an actual intelligent.
What was the slapper? The guy that?
Oh, Jim Steranko?
Yeah, you're the Steranko to his Bill Finger. How's that?
Okay,
I'll
cool.
take that.
All right. Yeah. Anytime I
That
get to be
means
Jim
I'm not.
Steranko.
No one's gonna appreciate me until long after I'm dead.
Yeah, but he'll make sure.
But you get to write one of the best episodes of Batman in the
true.
60s series.
That's true.
But yeah, so to bring it back.
Yeah.
Alex is promoting No Mercy number 5, which comes out on Wednesday, December 9th. It's the start of the second arc. The first arc you can get on Comixology. And you know what? I say all that in the interview, too. And take a listen. And joining us is writer Alex de Campi, who is currently writing No Mercy for Image Comics. She's also written Archie vs. the Predator over for Archie Comics and Dark Horse. And she's also a bit of a filmmaker. She's directed music videos. She's directed commercials. She's worked with Amanda Palmer. So we're going to be talking to her a bit about her work. The 5th issue of No Mercy comes out Wednesday, December 9th. That'll be the start of the second arc. The first arc is currently available on Comixology, in comic shops everywhere. And hey, thanks for joining us, Alex.
I'm thrilled to be here.
So when we last left the crew in No Mercy, there's like 3 different cliffhangers that kind of happen all at once.
The title lives up because it's looking rough for everybody.
It's looking pretty merciless.
Including an actual cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's hanging on the cliff anymore. I think he kind of just
Hanging on the cliff.
Yeah.
And then we've of course so for everyone at home, for all our listeners, No Mercy is essentially the story of this bunch of college kids that go off to Central America, kind of on an alternative spring break. They're trying to build houses, trying to help low-income areas, and their bus falls off a cliff, and they have to survive. And it's not as much Lord of the Flies as you'd think. It's almost more, especially with the addition of the drugs, I'm thinking more No Country for Old Men. So what were some of your influences going into writing the book?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, it never was intended to be like Battle Royale or Lord of the Flies, where all the kids turn on each other, because I feel that's been done so well in so many other places. I was more interested in just taking these fairly privileged, though very geographically and background diverse kids who are just coming into college. They don't know each other. They're all going to be freshmen at Princeton in the fall, and they're doing this 2-week volunteerism trip to get to know other freshmen and stuff. I really wanted to take those kids and throw them off the deep end, which is what we did. And just so readers know, the bus falling off the mountain isn't the worst thing that happens to them in the book. It's not even the worst thing that happens to them in the first 24 hours. So it's a pretty full-on book. Although it's also a book that's kind of hard to pigeonhole, because people want to start off saying, oh, it's a survival story. But it's kind of constantly morphing into something else. I've never been a writer who likes to do sort of big high concept stuff where it's this but with aliens. I'm more interested in characters in the room and how they react to each other and to their environment. And this is obviously a very, very harsh environment. Most of the kids don't speak Spanish. They have little experience in remote areas without Wi-Fi. And most of the adults are dead. There's only one adult who's alive, but who luckily is a local, and she knows what's going on. Sister Inez, who's the nun who teaches at the school they were going to rebuild. This series is just a whole bunch of fun, really. It's very, very dense. Each issue feels like there's a lot of story in it because it's like an A, B, and a C plot. And in very old school comic style, every issue ends with some sort of cliffhanger or oh shit moment. So it's really fun to read in singles, as well as you can go binge on the old Image $9.99 first trade if you want. There is no magic. There's no supernatural. No animals talk. No zombies. No one develops superpowers. It's just kids being awful.
I think one of the things I love about this book is two things I really enjoy when I read a comic book is the small moments in comic books, like something early on in the story when they take the big group picture and it gets posted on, kind of Facebook, and they're all looking happy about this wonderful time that, this trip they're going to go on, they're going to change people's lives. And it's kind of seen in the bottom left corner is the comment section. And it just gives you like goosebumps when you read it for the first time because it's like they were so young, look what happened to these people. This is terrible. And you're like, what's going to happen to these people? Holy crap. And then another thing is the way that the book is laid out as well, just the page layouts, especially with the character Anthony reading the lips, and just the way that, dealing with a deaf character in a comic was really, really interesting and really cool.
Yeah, Carla's layouts are one of the reasons I really wanted to work with Carla on this book is she draws amazing teenagers. And has very clear layouts. I mean, we've got 10 characters. I introduced 10 characters before I chucked the bus off a mountain. It's a very, very delicate balancing act. One thing I'm really proud about the Facebook spread is I got Facebook comment text art and someone blaming Obama in the comments.
I saw that, yeah.
It's like I have done Facebook now.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed is, and not just in No Mercy, but also in Archie vs. Predator, there's a lot of tonal shifts. So you'll start out, and it's all these really bubbly, happy, like you've got the girls comparing their manga interests or their anime interests. Or in Archie vs. Predator, they're just hanging out at Pops, and then just brutal stuff comes on. What is it about that always kind of pops up in your work, that kind of constant curveball? Is it to kind of keep readers on their toes, or are those the kind of stories that you enjoy to tell?
Very much so. I mean, there's a lot of casual. One big feature of my writing is just a casual and sudden brutality, and it comes out of a lot of films I watch. Both the early I'll take alcoholic early '70s filmmakers for 500, Alex.
So all Peckinpah then, just nothing but Peckinpah.
Yeah.
Peckinpah, Friedkin, Ken Russell, bring them all in. Jean-Pierre Melville, who is the great French crime filmmaker. You'll know his film Le Samurai as John Woo's The Killer. It's literally a shot-for-shot remake, but with more dubs. And also, I'm a huge fan of a lot of Japanese and Korean and Hong Kong crime films. So the sort of the long, the tonal shifts I find are really a Far Eastern filmmaking thing. It doesn't mean their films are better than ours. Their tropes are just different, and their pacing is different, and their story structure is different. So it's more exciting for me, who's used to like 3-act structure. If you take a film like Park Chan-wook's Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which is my favorite of his Vengeance movies, he got a little loose towards the end of them. You'll have these long, contemplative, quiet shots where you really get to know the characters and just watching them do their thing in like a medium or a medium-wide shot. And then bang, like something will just happen. And I find that's very true to how things happen in real life. Like, if you've ever been in a bar where a fight breaks out, like you're talking to your friend about something on Netflix, and then suddenly like a bottle flies over your head, and you're just like, what? Where did that come from? And before you know it, there's blood somewhere. And it's just, when bad things happen, they happen really, really fast and really usually unexpectedly. And I'm just trying to capture that in comics. I try to keep it very real. Try to keep it 100.
Now, to kind of piggyback off that question, so you've also come from a filmmaking background. Again, you've worked with Amanda Palmer. You've posted little YouTube videos where you kind of helped instruct people on their own filmmaking. What is it about filmmaking that kind of informs your storytelling using the comic medium?
I think it's just once you've done enough filmmaking, everything helps each other. You know, a comic is not a film, and what I really enjoy about comics is doing things I can't do in films. But what the filmmaking has taught me, aside from having to storyboard my own work, which is always something every writer should do, is just basic things. Like, it's taught me the language of cinematography. We all know it to some extent because we all watch things. But really digging into, being the person who makes the decision of, do we shoot this conversation over the shoulder? Do we shoot it clean? Like, what shot do we do next? Do we need the geography or the shoulder in it? Do we need the closeness? Do we move the camera in? When do we break out to a high angle? When do we do an establishing? All of these decisions, actually having to think them through on a filmmaking basis in terms of where you're putting your camera and where you're putting your lights and how you're using color and saturation. It's all incredibly helpful for comics. It really is.
Now,
like every comics creator, every writer should just go out and buy, I think it's called 50 Shots That Always Work. Basic, easy, pictorial cinematography 101 book.
Right. I think Jeff Johns once described writing for comics is harder than screenwriting, because he said that you're basically storyboarding at the same time as you're going through. As Jake was kind of alluding to earlier, this is a pretty merciless, brutal book. And between this and, of course, Heavy Metal, which the last trade comes out also on December 9th.
Grindhouse, not Heavy Metal.
Grindhouse. My bad. Yeah.
That's all right. I like Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal's cool.
I just didn't write anything in it.
Yeah. Hoping for that remake. Come on, Robert Rodriguez. But so Grindhouse, you've got of course Archie versus Predator. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't read Archie vs. Predator and really wants to skip ahead 30 seconds, but you made Archie Andrews' head fucking explode. What is it about the kind of high violence that what is it about the violence that kind of draws you in? Is it all those influences like Peckinpah that you were kind of mentioning?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, also when I'm writing a story like Grindhouse, and the expectations of Archie Predator, especially from the Predator fan base, because when you write something like Archie Predator, you have to deliver a great Archie story to the Archie fan base, and you have to deliver a great Predator story for the Predator fan base, or you're not doing your job. And I love both properties. I can quote most of the first Predator movie and a little bit of the second. I've even seen the Adrian Brody Predators, which was okay, almost a good film. So close and yet so far.
It has its moments.
The curate's egg, it's good in parts. But I had to, you can't call a series Grindhouse unless there's hella titty and hella gore. And you can't you can't have a Predator book unless spines are being ripped out and heads explode.
Yeah.
So in many ways you have to, while obviously I mainly write for myself and to make myself happy, you do have to respect the natural audience, especially of a work-for-hire property. Also, I just, again, violence is not pretty. And the way I try to do violence, there are tons of people who do, balletic violence, and that's, Justin Jordan, there's guts all over his books. But his are different in a way. You don't necessarily feel, it's all kind of beautiful and fun, but you don't really feel the visceral agony. You don't feel the terror in it as much. It's all just body parts.
Right.
And what I try to do is with the quiet moments, I try to really get you to like these characters and feel for them. And so when bad things do happen, they are very shocking, not just because of the gore, which is only moderately successful in a comic book, because after a while you just stare at it and you're like, wow, you spent a really long time drawing those intestines. But for the, oh my God, this character isn't coming back. This is, I didn't expect it to go this hardcore.
Oh, yeah, the coyote sequence in No Mercy,
Yeah.
it was very, very brutal and it kind of raised the stakes on where, you guys were willing to go and kind of dropped the draw a bit. Now, earlier you were talking about how these characters don't really know each other. One of the ironic things is Charlene and her twin arguably know each other better than any of the other characters in the book know each other, and yet they hate each other so much. Which is kind of inverts the twin I guess stereotype where they usually kind of have that special bond.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of led to deciding to give those two so much animosity and acrimony?
Well, a lot of it's their backstory, which is revealed over the course of this coming arc. So I don't want to give too much of it away, but Charlene and her family are not good fits for each other at all. Her family they aren't great people. They aren't very understanding people, and Chad is just that guy. He's just the very bro-y kind of, like a lot of Chad's dialogue on the bus about Charlene when, she's really hanging. I hope she gets like that. That is just stuff I've heard people say when I was a teenager or when I was at college. Those were how the bros talked about people they didn't like. And it's very natural in a way, again, that this is how he's talking about his sister. And she just drew the short straw. She's in a family which is completely unsuited for her and her needs. And she's trying to get out of it, but it's hard. Like, it's really hard. And you'll see some of the consequences of her trying to get out of her family later on in the book. They've been alluded to here and there. But she is a proactive person. She is trying to get out of it. The only issue is families are funny things. And though her family is awful and a terrible fit for her, sometimes when the chips are down, you'll choose the devil you know. So at a certain point, even though Charlene really hates Chad is arguably the most organized one and the one who's best suited to get them out of there, because he's the one who's like, okay, right, we'll do this. I'm going to steal that. And now I'm going to make a plan for all of us, because I don't think Inez is going to come back. The nun, she passed out. Blood loss, she has a concussion. I don't think Inez has come back. What's our plan B? You do that, I'll do this. No one likes Chad, but he is organized and he is smart. And so when it's a question of Charlene like staying with one group of kids who don't really like her or don't really understand her, and also just don't really understand the whole Chad Charlene thing and are like, this is too much drama for right now, or go with her brother. She ultimately does go with her brother, which I think was the intelligent choice, although a lot of people might not understand it. I mean, you just like, you kind of have to have a working knowledge of how some bad families work, in term to kind of get Chad and Charlene and a little bit of like the borderline personality issues that are going on in there. Kind of, I hate you, but I need you because I know you.
Basically, a kind of a allegory for dysfunctional families at large.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Kind of trapped in there, but they're your family at the same time. Now we've got kind of speaking of bro-y characters, we've got Travis, who I feel like, how has he escaped all the consequences so far? He's like the most kind of like up in the air kind of guy.
Guys like Travis are like cockroaches. Like, nothing bad ever happens to them. They would survive nuclear war. I don't know what it is. They just float along through in their little cloud of patchouli, piss everybody off, and somehow come back unscathed. And we all know that person, and that person is Travis. I mean, he isn't going to be completely unscathed. Like, there are things that Travis will make some bad choices, some entertainingly, hilariously bad choices.
He's almost the comic relief, yeah.
In some ways, but also part of it is some of the characters that are kind of comic reliefy, like Travis and Gina. As we dig on into the book, we see a lot more of who they really are. Because when 17 and 18-year-olds first meet each other, especially when they're doing this thing where they're leaving home and they're going to college, this is their prime opportunity to be someone new. This is their time to be the person they want to be, that they see in their head, not the fat kid who got teased all through school but then lost 50 pounds but is still called fatty. not the hick from Minnesota. Like she can get an undercut and be the New York girl. She can be the skinny girl. She can be the cool girl or the cool guy. So almost all of the kids are fronting to some extent. Some far more than others. We're going to learn like just how much some of them are fronting. But when they first meet each other, it's all kind of like they're trying to be people they're not and trying to impress each other. And then ultimately, after a certain point, it really just comes down to who they are.
Yeah.
And none of them are really, I mean, Chad, yeah, he's a shithead, but like none of them are bad kids.
Yeah, and I feel like we at especially the cliffhanger of issue 4, we are really introduced to the really bad people, so to speak.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like it's like I said, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and the stakes getting higher and higher. It's just kind of insane.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun book because one of my favorite things to do is twist a scene a couple of times. I think this also partially comes into the brutality thing. You have the way you write a scene is a scene is something that you think you're going from A to B, but instead you twist and go to C. What I tend to do is you're getting from A to B, you twist and go to C, and then you final page turn the scene. Actually, you're at D. And so that's a very prevalent thing in the book. I mean, like the reveal about the drugs, when that was finally revealed to the rest of the kids, their reaction, you thought, oh my God, she's finally dropped the bomb. And the kids are like, whatever.
It's like the least of their concerns at that time.
Yeah, it's just like, we don't care, whatever.
Speaking of like great reveals in Travis, like, as we get in issue 4, we start to realize this, like you were saying, this guy really isn't all he says he is. And, she's just a little simple thing of, is this water safe to drink? And he has kind of that.
Oh, poor Gina.
Yeah, sure. And the whole time you're reading, you're like, what's going to be the reveal? Because, like, that now that we know that Travis doesn't know as much, and he almost gives this kind of, sure, why not answer. And you turn the page and you're like, oh, well, here we are.
Yeah, goodbye, Gina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yum.
Yeah.
So one of the things we constantly try to ask our guests is, what are you currently geeking out over now? Like what in music or in movies or in TV?
Gosh, I'm geeking out over Soderbergh's The Knick, which I have to watch in very small doses. Soderbergh is like my holy grail filmmaker. I think he's amazing. I love the way he works. Basically lighting his sets practically. Shooting on a really good low light camera. He does most of the A camera work himself, edits it on his iPad, like does dailies on his iPad on the limo on the way home. I'm like, I want to grow up and be you, Steven Soderbergh. You're so wonderful. In terms of comics, I'm actually right now reading This Damned Band #3, which is this Paul Cornell, Tony Parker book about a band that worshipped Satan in the 70s, and Satan shows up. And it's great, and Tony's art is amazing, and Paul Cornell is just a really wonderful writer, and a bit like James Robinson in Airboy, which is, I'll loop back to in a sec because that's a controversial pick. You think you're going along, and this is quite a silly series, and then issue 3 starts really getting deep into the feelings, and you're like, okay, Paul, now you're going to break my heart, right? Similar, Xander Cannon's Kaiju Max, I love. I love Xander's work in general, but Kaiju Max, I picked up issue 1, and I'm like, Xander, you're going to completely pulverize my heart in this. And he's like, maybe. That means yes. I really loved Airboy. I had issue 2. Airboy is a frustrating book because issue 2 is horrifically transphobic and treats an entire diverse group of people as like a joke, and that was wrong. That was totally wrong, and it made me very angry because I'm like, James, you're better than this. Like, you should know better. I get what you're trying to do, but no. But annoyingly, the rest of the book is so awesome. It's a very nuanced, really interesting, innovative, meta look at failed creation and about the joys of the golden age, and it's just super wonderful, and Greg Hinkle's art is amazing, and it makes me all the madder that James screwed the pooch on issue 2 so badly, because I would just like to be like, everyone go out and buy this book, but massive transphobia in
issue 2, yeah. His reveal about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in the most recent issue is heartbreaking.
I know, like, he is, like, it is, a heartbreaking book. In the way that, I mean, partially in the way that like 8.5 is a really heartbreaking movie. But yeah, it's a wonderful book, and I'm sad that it's that he fumbled a particular aspect of it so badly. What else am I reading right now? I'm doing a ton of research reading. I'm doing a Cold War miniseries that's coming up next year, creator owned, of course. And so my bedside table is all like CIA and KGB defector autobiographies, and books about like the wedge between the CIA and the FBI. And saying that, I'm probably going to watch Magic Mike tonight.
Yeah, no Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. That was a fabulous film.
Oh, yeah.
Have you watched a really good spy film? There's a German one called The Lives of Others, which is about the Stasi monitoring.
I've heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, with Sebastian Cook. Very good.
It
Yeah.
has one of the most wonderful endings of any film. Like the last line of that film is just like,
Oh, what I mean, without giving too much away, what he sees inside the book at the very end of the film is just like, it reaffirms your kind of faith in the medium, right? He's just working like the...
Yes, and then what he says is like, oh, do you want that gift wrapped? And then the guy, he just looks up at him and goes, no, this is for me. He walks up, and I'm like, boom, bam, feelings done.
Yeah, that was, I mean, as that might be one of the greatest German language films of all time. I mean, over M or over any of that stuff, absolutely.
I would agree.
Now,
terrific.
I've noticed, like, within No Mercy and I believe it was Cat and Mouse and all that you've got the manga influence. Have you always been a fan of kind of the Oriental and Asian works? Like you mentioned the Asian and Japanese cinema from the 70s and the crime films. Have you always kind of been...
The very modern stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Johnny To. I'll fight anyone that disagrees that the opening shot of Breaking News, like, it is the best opening tracking shot in cinema. And... like, all you dudes about to slide into my mentions with your talk of the player, just fuck off now and look up Breaking News. Because you're wrong. I love Altman. Nashville is my heart film, but no, you're wrong. I read a lot of manga. A lot of my pacing comes from manga. I do lots of cutaways. I'll do reaction shots. I had a really hard time starting to work with a lot of mainstream comic book artists who came from DC and Marvel and were used to 4 and 5 panel pages, and I'd do like a 6-panel page with a reaction shot or like a cutaway to some leaves and some dew, and they'd be like, "Oh, can I cut the reaction shot?" I'm like, "No."
That's the payoff.
But it doesn't say anything, and I'm like, I just like buy a copy of Pluto and I bang him over the head with it until they. Naoki Urasawa is a massive influence on me. I find when my brain is done and I just want to read like fun comics, I read shonen. I don't read DC or Marvel, because somehow like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia, like My Hero Academia is the New Mutants book that we deserve and we'll never get. And One Punch Man is just so much fun and wry, and I guess it's just the lack of continuity, the lack of cynicism, the lack of just corporate bullshit manipulation that goes on. These are just like these really pure, light, fun books with endings. And I'm a huge shonen fan. And I learned a lot of my brutality off shoujo comics, like Mars. Mars is a brutal book. Like those 2 girls backing that other girl up into the locker and just being like, "If you see him again, I'll break your finger." I'm like, shit. Like you never saw this in comics in the U.S. are shitty about like female friendship anyway, and in manga there's so many stories that center around primacy of and the nature of female friendship, and it was a revelation to me that you could write these stories about how people actually behaved, and they didn't need talking cats or magical girls or anything like that. It was just about this nerdy girl falling in love with this motorcycle boy in high school, and all of the other girls being like hot messy bitches to her.
Well, now that you mention all the shonen stuff and all the manga, now that I'm thinking about it, the pacing in No Mercy kind of reminds me of the pacing of like Death Note, where things would kind of twist. Like you would think.
Yes, actually, you're completely correct, and I'm really proud you noticed that. Because one of the things I generally say about No Mercy is that it was created because of a certain type of Japanese storytelling style, which is a voyage of discovery. And that's what you see in Death Note. It's what you see in, although the trick gets a little old in Death Note. I'm like, really? And like that will...
Well, Death Note goes on a little longer than it should. It should it should culminate with the L Light confrontation, but it goes for another, 8 volumes or so.
Yeah, after the L Light volume, the combination, I'm like, I'm done. Bye. But I'm a terrible completist. I never finish anything. But also Attack on Titan, which is another story, especially in the anime. I haven't read the manga. I know I should. Where the point of these stories is you have characters in a situation, and the situation is very grave or life-threatening or dramatic, and you and the characters believe the world operates by certain rules, and things happen for certain reasons. And the entire point of the book is, while it is also the drama of the life-threatening situation, the real interest in the book comes from the fact that you and the characters are gradually learning that the rules that you had assumed in the beginning are not true at all. And that is, both Death Note and Attack on Titan are obviously heavily supernatural, fantastical books. And here's me just taking that and then making my story and then realizing I didn't have any room for anything supernatural and it wasn't necessary. But it is that kind of journey of constantly learning, constantly leading you to make assumptions that are incorrect about where the story is going.
Right. Well, to kind of wrap things up, been a joy talking with you. But to wrap things up, what happened? Where do we go with issue 5 of No Mercy? What if you could tease a bit without playing the whole hand? What's in store for our? And did you go to Princeton as well? So you're torturing your alma mater. Kind of.
It was sheer laziness. I wanted to pick a school that I vaguely knew my way around, rather than trying to, because I didn't want too many notes from students. I'm sure I will get things wrong because I went to Princeton quite some time ago, and lots of things have changed. But I didn't want to get too many notes from students going, "Oh, you totally not represented our school correctly." If I went there, I can be like, "Yeah, I know, and I don't care. I went there. Bye." But I know the area around it. I know the roads and all the dumb stuff that otherwise would have taken me a lot of effort to do. But issue 5, I always say that the second arc, which starts with issue 5 and ends with issue 9, the first arc was the rock hitting the water. It's a splash, and that's all you see is the splash because everything is immediate and desperate. Issue 5, you start to see the ripples coming out from that, from 5 through 9, and you start seeing what's happening in the U.S. And obviously tons of things have been happening in the U.S. because people's children are gone, their friends are gone. Students on a school-sponsored trip are gone. The school is shitting 50-kilo bricks and going over their liability laws, their liability contracts. So I then start bringing some of that into it, and we use social media again in what I hope is a very clever way to kind of make you suddenly realize that there's more happening outside. We meet some new kids. There are some British kids traveling on gap year that you meet, I think, in issue 6 or 7, who become friends with one of our lost kids. Someone gets maimed. 2 more kids die. Not all in issue 5.
Oh, man.
Some kids go home.
Oh,
nice.
I wasn't sure.
I wanted to say something really quick. I used to work at a comic shop, and this is something that I feel like a lot of writers and artists don't get to see a lot happen. Is when Archie vs. Predator came out, that was the easiest book to sell in the world because the look on the kids' faces, whether they were Archie fans or Predator fans, they would become fans of vice versa because they'd walk up and we'd have the books on the shelf. They had those great different variants of Predator, sipping a milkshake or whatever. And the look on the kids' faces, they were like, "What is this? I have to have this. This is crazy." And so it was really cool to see just kids freaking out over Archie vs. Predator. It was a huge seller at our shop when the single issues were coming out, and it was just really fun to read that and see the craziness. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. We had fun with it because issue 1 was pretty crazy. And they're like, oh, they can't match issue 1, and then issue 2 comes out, and we just completely double the amount of craziness and death, and they were just like, damn, I wonder how they're going to top that. And then issue 3.
Just escalation
Yeah.
across the board.
And I was most pleased that, like, there are kind of three ways you could end the book. Archie wins, Predator wins, or Duchess of Malfi, where everyone dies. And I ended it a fourth way. Because I didn't want to, we take these people on this crazy, crazy journey, which even has a tiny Frank Castle cameo in it, if you can spot the Frank Castle Easter egg. And then we didn't want to end it in an expected way. Because, I'm really passionate about great endings for stories. It's one of the reasons I love Lives of Others so much. I always say, like, you've got 200 pages to tickle their fancy and 7 words to break their heart. Like, you have to stick the ending, and I think that's something that a lot of writers in comics don't necessarily get as much, because
sure.
they're like, oh well, we'll just leave it, we'll just end this on a cliffhanger. And of course I end every issue of No Mercy on a cliffhanger, but when the story finally does end,
Yeah,
it's gonna
but you're
have
leading to something, so
yes. Or it's like when you pledge for something on Kickstarter and they're like, it's volume 1 of a series, and they're like, I've ended it on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, you're a jerk. I hate you.
It's like the first season of The Killing, where
yeah.
they don't solve the mystery at the end of the first
Yeah,
season.
you're
of The
like,
Killing.
yeah. Well, it's funny because you get shows like CSI or Law and Order, and they like finish a murder and a crime in like 45 minutes, and The Killing takes 2 seasons, and you're just like, please tell me who did this.
Or Memories of Murder, where the whole point of the film is like you never find out. You're like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, murder is tough. Thanks. Or Zodiac,
Oh yeah. Zodiac's cool because like for me the first half of that movie is a horror movie and the second half is this great like detective story,
Like procedural.
and
Yeah.
it shifts so crazy and awesome.
Yeah, and of course seeing San Francisco in the early 70s is also really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
the
all-
Transamerica Pyramid one was a wee stub.
Yeah. And they all go see Bullet.
Oh,
Yeah. Or it's Dirty Harry. Dirty
Harry, because
yeah.
Bullet's 68.
Yeah, Dirty Harry, and they're all like, "That's not what it was like." So
But yeah, well, so the 5th issue of No Mercy, which kicks off the second arc, comes out Wednesday, December 9th. The first trade is available on Comixology, is available in comic shops everywhere, along with Archie vs. Predator, and Grindhouse also comes out on the 9th. Not heavy metal. If you really want to watch heavy metal, I'm sure you can find it on, like, is it Voodoo? Yeah, Voodoo's got it.
yeah,
Oh, you got
Voodoo
it. Okay.
probably has it.
I have it
Yeah.
on Laserdisc.
You got it on
You
laser.
probably know somebody who has heavy metal.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this,
Yeah, but yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah, it's been great having you on the show.
yeah, a lot of fun.
Nice, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Alex. That was a great interview.
It
Yeah.
was.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
So yeah, definitely check out the book. Again, No Mercy's in stores. The second arc starts on December 9th. You can get that on Comixology if you are adverse into walking into a comic shop for whatever reason. But yeah, and that first trade is well
It's
priced.
bananas.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great.
It's awesome.
Is it Bonanza though?
No, it's bananas.
No, it's not even Gunsmoke, but
No.
the
Or
Buckaroo
Rawhide.
Banzai?
yes. What's that? Hudson Hawk.
Oh,
Ever see that film?
no.
Fucking
Yes.
sucks.
Yeah, no.
What do you like? Are you thankful for? What
Yeah,
are you
is that-
thankful?
are you thankful
Josh,
for- what's your
Josh,
favorite
are you
Bruce Willis
thankful?
film?
Hey, fuck you, Josh.
Yeah.
What are you thankful
What's your
for?
favorite Bruce Willis film? And then shut the fuck up.
Hostage.
Okay. Yeah, that's not what I was expecting, but
Yeah.
fair enough.
Okay, but what are you
Not
thankful
even
for?
cop out.
You gentlemen.
Oh. Now shut up and
After-
go away.
After we just spent like 5 minutes berating you.
Yeah,
He likes it though.
We were braiding you so bad we forgot to turn the mics on.
yeah. Seriously, yeah. I am also kind of I'm thankful for you gentlemen. We've been doing this for over a year now.
Yeah.
And it's just been. I honestly feel like we've gone through the growing pains. We're bigger and better than ever.
Well, I like that. Like we were talking about doing an interview here. Like we're getting to the point where we're interviewing people. We're helping people promote stuff, and we're-
how many successful like Kickstarters or Indiegogo campaigns have we done?
Yeah, and we're helping.
And if it hadn't been for us,
yeah, and
I can't take complete credit. But
I will.
But no,
I know it's irresponsible and probably wrong, but I will take credit.
I
for
do
it.
hear Sam.
Yeah, pat ourselves on the back,
Our
Chris.
walls are very thin, and I do hear Sam before he goes to sleep tonight going, "It was me. It was me."
To be fair, that's just the only way that he can get hard nowadays.
Yeah, but no, seriously though, like it's,
that's what I'm thankful for.
It's it's
So glad I hadn't taken a drink.
it's been fun being able to have do these little interviews and kind of build something. It's
and thanks to Image Comics for helping
Absolutely.
arrange the the Image Comics one.
Image Comics has been super cool.
Yeah, that's
Everyone there.
I guess the 4th Image Comics interview we've had, if we
Yeah.
count Corey. Yeah.
And thanks to Corey.
And
Oh,
thanks
yeah.
to absolutely thanks to Corey. Yeah, thank you, Corey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And thanks to Zach again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey
And
Zach,
Chris.
you'll be happy to know I've got Mario Kart 8. I'm thankful for that too.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that Shy Guy's in it.
It's like
So much so that here's something that doesn't happen very often, fellas. I won a cup in Mario Kart 8 with the Shy Guy. So much so that I'm never going to play him ever again.
There you go.
I just he's 1-0.
Retire it.
He's
Yeah.
1-0. He's the 73 Dolphins. He's undefeated.
he's James Hunt.
yeah, it's James Hunt. Exactly. Except Shy Guy's not going to be banging a lot of hot chicks, I think, anytime soon.
You don't know what he does in his
Yeah,
off
not with
hours.
that attitude.
He's Shy Guy. I mean, I feel like,
I want the GIF from the Electrodome.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great stage, too.
Yeah, it's a great stage, but like of all the Shy Guys and Koopa Troopas at the rave,
Mhm.
and I can't find it. And I've looked at the internet, just looked right at it,
Yeah.
like the TV and Poltergeist, and just kind of
Yeah,
with my
yeah.
hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Way to go, Internet.
I've come
Way
home to
come
that
up
too.
short.
I've come home to Sam in front of a TV on static playing the national anthem, going, "Where is it?
They're
Where?"
here.
Yeah.
Just drawing the flag on his face.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see?
Now, we'll talk about more about this because we haven't all watched it ourselves, unless you're Josh. But
Shame on you, gentlemen. Shame
Sorry
on
that
you.
I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but whose fault is that?
yeah.
True. It is my fault.
Jessica Jones just premiered, and if you've never read that book, for starters,
Shame on you.
well, it's all on sale on Comixology right now, $1 an issue. So read that because that's honestly, it's probably, if it's not the best thing Brian Bendis has written for Marvel, it's in the top 5. I was like 3 and 5. Great series. I'm digging it. It's quite a bit different. Like if you go in expecting Daredevil, it's not Daredevil at all. You're gonna be let down.
Yeah, an easy way to summarize between the two, Daredevil is what all the preteens watch.
Okay.
You put them to bed, and the grown-ups watch Jessica
Okay.
Jones. Because Jessica Jones just feels like a much more adult show,
It's
just in content-wise.
emotionally speaking.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
definitely
I'll
emotional.
Give,
Yeah.
I'll give you that with emotion.
What did you
Well,
watch?
not just emotion,
It's
but
really-
what's
I don't know if you
shown
watched
on
Daredevil.
it.
It's very
Chris
violent.
Chris
Yeah.
said the best thing. He
Yeah.
said, okay, yeah, fine, I'll give you that much. He put his hand on his knee, like, okay, let's talk
Okay.
about this.
Yeah, like he's on like hardball or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
oh,
like
excuse me, like the satellite delay is like, you're just like, bleeding over.
Chris
Yeah,
Matthews is there, and you're
but
like,
I feel-
Dr. Phil.
I feel like violence-wise and just the content they go over,
well, what I like about
and Jessica
You.
Jones.
That's your homie, Ty.
Uptown, all around. I
One
don't
of
even
the-
know the words.
one of the things that I find very interesting about Jessica Jones is it can be very, it tackles the subject, something as sensitive as rape, very seriously and very, I as much as a superhero show can do it very honestly without actually showing it. Hear that, Game of Thrones? You don't actually have to show it.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, yes, I agree.
Yeah, what-
I'm just playing the part of HBO execs. Like, whoa.
Well, Jessica Jones does something tactful where it doesn't just outright show the scene, but it gives you enough little morsels to understand what had happened.
Yeah, you don't have to actually see it. And man, David Tennant, from what I've seen so far, I'm not
Yeah.
through the entire series, like I kind of alluded to, but he is fantastic. I've never seen. He is the most villainous Marvel character to date.
Oh, yeah.
Just
And he
yeah,
does a great job at it.
yeah, for what his character is supposed to do.
Which is be a big, bad fucking. The thing is, what makes David Tennant's Killgrave so effective, I think, if he played the Purple Man as a really repugnant character,
Yeah.
you'd just be like, oh, of course. The thing is, it's David Tennant, so there's going to be that level of charm, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're going to see with a
Mhm.
Predator like that. Just that's what I think makes his character all the more terrifying.
And like the idea that like a lot of that he probably could do without his power. Like he is charismatic. He's charming. He could get people to do his bidding to a certain extent, but then with his power, he's able to get people to do unspeakable things.
Anything he wants.
But they also tease a few times where his words have to be very choice.
Yeah.
I like the I forget the character's name, but he was like, "Say hello, Alex," or whatever it was, and the guy was like, "Hello, Alex," and David Tennant's just like, "Okay, yeah, I let that one. I let that one go."
Yeah. But no, it's a great show. I certainly recommend it. We'll be back next week when we'll talk about the show full fucking force, top to bottom. If you're looking for your spoiler-filled, sucker-free experience, we record on Sundays, so I guess. But except for I guess today.
Yeah.
But who fucking cares?
Yeah. They don't need to peek behind the curtains.
We've already been over. Don't invoke.
That was before you. That was before you.
Bring that back.
Yeah. We will annihilate you with a curtain, figurative and literal.
Yes, that curtain right there.
Yeah, but it's been a good run, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely thankful for all this, and thanks again, Alex de Campi, for coming on. Thanks. Read No Mercy if you haven't done it. Read if you like genre mashups. Read Archie vs. the Predator. It does not fucking disappoint.
No.
Neither does No Mercy. Grindhouse is for starters not heavy metal. It's also,
but just as good.
Yeah,
if not better.
Yeah. You know who's the editor-in-chief of Heavy Metal now?
Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
No.
We missed him at San Diego. Remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like we should do a shout out. I don't think we've done a proper shout out on the main show here to all of our side shows that we've been doing, especially since we have the final one premiering
in 2 days.
In 2 days. But yeah, so for those of you that haven't noticed, each Friday this month we've started a new side series with one of us being like the main host, and then most of them it's a revolving guest host. Mine it's going to be a stable me and Ken, but for the rest of
I feel like
shows,
it'll for the most part it'll be me and Jake. We might have one of our mutual friends pop in every
for the
now
Beatles
and
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so starting with Jake, he was the first one to premiere.
It's been a long time coming, I guess, but I decided to do a podcast all about the Lethal Weapon series, so the 4 films in the Lethal Weapon franchise. And it's called Guys Like Us Don't Die on Toilets. It's taken from a line in Lethal Weapon 2. The first one is out with my best good friend Kevin that I've known since 4th grade. We grew up watching the movies together, and we are. It sounds insane, but a lot of our friendship is based on the Lethal Weapon franchise, just watching those movies through the years. We're each episode is going to be a different friend of mine that's going to be on. My buddy Mike's on for 2. Sam will be on for 3. Chris will be on for 4. And it's a lot of fun, If they ever do a 5, Josh, you're going to be on. I promise.
Or you could at least talk about Lethal Weapon 5 from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah. But no, it's been a lot of fun to just sit back and just have a concentrated dose and talking about some good old fashioned buddy cop Lethal Weapon action.
Mm-hmm. Samuel, yours. Since it's the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a big secret to anybody that's listened to the show for a while that my favorite band on God's green earth is the Beatles.
You don't say.
Yeah. So like we're doing it album by album. Of course, that's a lot of material. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the Beatles into 3 periods: the early Beatles, the middle Beatles, where they're all psychedelic, and the latter Beatles, where they're breaking up. White Album and Let It Be and all that, and Abbey Road. And in between, you'll probably be getting like a side thing where I can just kind of like cleanse the palate and then dive back in. But the first album, Please Please Me, is currently up now. The name of the podcast is I Want to Tell You. It was originally, and I think we say it in the episode itself, The Long and Winding Road, but nobody really liked that title because
I think I even forgot the title by the end of it. I was like, and this has been what is this called?
Yeah, it's pretty generic. So we wanted to go with I Want to Tell You, which is a deep cut off of Revolver.
And in looking back, The Long and Winding Road kind of does give the pretense that it's going to be a long, boring
podcast.
Yeah, so
which it may very well be.
Yeah,
I mean,
but no need to tell the listeners that ahead of time. I guess.
So Jake, one of your favorite bands, if not your favorite band, is also the Beatles. Yeah. I also know you're a big Springsteen and Queen guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be trying to do an episode every few weeks, and so next week we'll be with the Beatles.
Yeah, and then last week premiered my podcast Laser Dicks, which is going to be hosted by me and my friend Ken, who were both big Laserdisc enthusiasts, and I'm sure it's come up plenty of times on this show, so you guys are already aware of that. But we, it's right now it's kind of free form. Like the first episode, if you guys didn't listen to it, was really just kind of introducing why we like the medium of Laserdiscs, what it means to us, why we started collecting them and stuff like that. And then the next episode is all about some of the more prized possessions in our collections. And then once we get kind of past that, we're going to start focusing on either like genres or specific movies and just kind of like talking about them, both just the movies in general and what makes their Laserdisc printing special. Like there's some movies that are only available on Laserdisc. There's some movies that had really cool designs, like Evil Dead 2 was a blood red disc, and you don't get, you never got that with the DVD or Blu-ray. So it's going to be stuff like that. And then this Friday, we have Josh's first episode of...
shit.
Take the floor.
Reminiscent Evil.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
That's a fucking badass name,
Right?
dude.
Thank you.
Hold
I
up.
didn't create it.
That's
All credit goes to
badass.
Chris.
Right. Yeah. This is the first time that's I guess Jake, because Sam checked it out online when I uploaded it. But yeah, we named the podcast right as we were gonna start recording, and I was just sitting there like Josh was like, "What the hell do we call this?" And I was like, "I don't know." Reminiscent Evil.
I'm like stunned.
Yeah, I threw out a
so
couple
fucking good.
like Tales of Raccoon City, and he was like, "Well, only one of them takes place in Raccoon City," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right." Well, what's a play on word that I can get? Reminiscent is like resident. Reminiscent Evil.
Well, I remember you were originally talking about the idea of doing like a Jason one, and
Yeah.
Josh came up with the idea of Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, fucking these names, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
If
fantastic.
there's one thing I'm good at, it's coming up with names for shows.
Reminiscent Evil sounds like a Lost Merciful Fate album from the 80s. That's just badass.
Yeah. We should get them to do the theme song.
That should be in heavy metal, not fucking Journey.
Yeah. Anyway, so we
Excuse you.
We all know that you enjoy the Tron song, whatever the fuck it's called.
Separate Ways.
Separate Ways.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that Journey is heavy metal.
Yeah. I love Journey, but they ain't heavy metal.
Yeah.
Anyway, Reminiscent Evil.
Yes, basically my love of the Resident Evil films, which stem from the Resident Evil games.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's my first solo show ever, I kind of trip, stumble, fall, hit a bag of rocks along the way of
What do we
trying
do
to
when
do
we
the
fall?
show.
What do we do when we fall?
Okay, I ain't Batman.
They will stumble, they will fall, but they will learn one day to follow you in the sun,
I'm
Josh.
Michael Caine.
The size of a tangerine. Dude, I fumbled all over my first podcast, too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the first 2 episodes of this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's,
my
hello,
God.
my name is Jake. Today I read Batman comic. It was fun. Then I saw a movie with Nicolas Cage. It was good. And today my random fact is not fortune cookies. Fucking Girl Scout cookies. That's where the thank you very much came from.
Yeah.
Because we sat here, Josh, and I fucking read off on my phone Girl Scout cookie
Girl
name.
Scout cookie.
Yeah, you know how much I would have paid for a fucking copy to read off of on my first show?
Hey, with stumble we were fall, man.
Are you hiring?
You just watch the movies and take notes for Josh.
Yeah. This is what you should talk about. This is how you feel.
No, but I mean seriously, like it's
Yo, seriously, Sam, how much you charge?
it's even if you like think you know the movie super well and like you're like I've seen this a million times, it so pays to watch it the night before.
Dude,
like,
I stopped watching it. So I'm the co-host on the first episode of Reminiscent Evil.
Yeah.
I watched the movie while Josh was driving to my house.
Yeah.
We watched the last 30 minutes together.
Yeah, because I'll tell you just
we were still like, what the fuck happened in this movie?
yeah.
it's kind of a
Because
Michelle Rodriguez is in it.
I'll tell you, man. Like as a little like teaser to the Lethal Weapon 2 podcast, like Mike and I watched it before we recorded it, and it. I don't know if it's because we're watching together or what, but it totally changed the way we looked at Lethal Weapon 2. So like it's always a good idea, like do your homework, listen to the album, look at the Laserdisc. Which is funny about Laserdisc because your love of Laserdisc has followed me in my life. Because I remember sending you a text like right after we were done recording when I was binging True Blood. they do like a flashback episode where they open a video store and
There's Laserdiscs.
Pam is standing in front of a Laserdisc thing. It's like the entertainment thing of the future. And you were like, it is the future.
The future is now.
When, because my dad swung by the where me and Jake live yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, my son got an LP," and I was like, "It's a Laserdisc."
And he goes, huh?
What? The future, Dad.
Yeah. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a a great Thanksgiving. Go check out those books and yeah. Have just a great time. Be careful if you go out on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, just God help your souls.
Yeah.
Respect your retail workers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, remember, folks, also for Black Friday, many sales are going on online ahead of the day. So also be somewhat considerate and get your shopping out of the way so you can enjoy your day after Thanksgiving.
There you go.
Well
there you
fucking
go.
done,
Damn,
sir.
Mr.
Well
Infomercial.
fucking
Nice.
done.
Motherfucker
Yeah.
gets a retail job and now he's the man.
Yeah.
Well said.
I mean, I agree. Good
Yeah.
job. Good on you.
Yeah. Well, adios, guys.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Damn, that beat was dope.